The world, of course, waits to see where Tom Brady plays in 2020. Will still be with the Patriots, or will we see him in a different uniform for the first time in his career? Now, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, Brady's representation meeting with the Chargers, Raiders, and Colts this week in Indy. Ian pointing out that the Patriots have yet to reach out to Brady's camp about a new deal, but that is due to the fact the team wants to see what happens with the CBA. Brady is in New England's plans for 2020. Now, the relationship between the Saints and quarterback Drew Brees is fine, thank you very much. However, he's yet to sign a deal, but general manager Mickey Loomis says all is well. Loomis telling Sirius XM NFL Radio their goal would be to sign Brees to a new deal before the start of free agency. Loomis says it's probably not mandatory, but it is a goal. Now, the window to officially use the franchise tag opened on Thursday, and the Chiefs wasting little time in applying it to defensive lineman Chris Jones. As reported by our man Ian, rap sheet adding Casey still wanting to do a long-term deal with Jones, who has the second most sacks by a defensive tackle since entering the NFL in 2016 with 33. Earlier this week, Dak Prescott's agent met with the Cowboys brass for the first time since September, but a deal isn't expected to get done until after a resolution to the proposed collective bargaining agreement. Owner Jerry Jones saying Thursday, don't make anything of the meeting just yet. Jones did say Dak's future with the Cowboys is the same as he feels about his son, Steven. Jerry saying, quote, there's no going forward without Steven or one of your family members, so you've got to get it figured out. This is a deal I have to get done, but it has to fit. So, again, we keep talking about Dak. Nate, I just wish you would advocate for Dak to get paid just once on the show. Just advocate once? For Dak to get, just once, you know?
You know what? When it comes to Dak, you should pay that man.
Yes. Appreciate you, Will.
There it is.
So, yeah, I like that out of Will. Jerry Jones talks about Dak Prescott as part of the Cowboys family. Are we confident now that a deal will get done between Dak and the Cowboys?
More confident now that I hear that F word, family. Yeah, because I used to hear it all the time about Jason Garrett. And he was Jerry's son, and he was Steven's brother. And they kept him around so long, and when there was a lot of people saying you got to make a move, and they kept him around too long, and they kept him around so long that they missed the playoffs. So that family word to Jerry Jones means a lot. It means a lot more even than the M word money. I'm telling you, he starts throwing family around, Dak ain't going anywhere. They'll get it done.
Franchise tag someone, they're still part of your family.
Also an F word. You're right.
Also an F word, and here's the thing when it comes to F words. Family isn't family unless there's finance, and they're going to have to pay big for him. Now, I get it. Jerry Jones is always going to say the right things, make Dak feel comfortable, but until you pony up the money, this is all talk.
So you guys, anything changed in the last 24 hours? You pretty much, for Kyle, yes, you know.
No, it hasn't changed at all.
I'm not more confident. I'm not less confident, though. I'm just kind of cruising as we sit here waiting for this to get done.
He isn't going anywhere. I feel the same way about Dak with the Cowboys as I do about Tom Brady with the Patriots. They will land in the same jersey they ended last season in.
Triggs, I feel like if they're not offering what he thinks he's worth, he is not going to take it. You've been pretty adamant about that from Dak's side of things.
Yeah, they think they're worth a certain value. They're not going to take a hometown discount. You know, it's actually an interesting setting last night. Jerry did his media availability on the Cowboys bus, so it was a very casual setting. He was lounging. All the different reporters from the Dallas metro area were all around him, and he had some funny comments. He was talking about Bryant. He thinks about him in the shower. That was a wild one. Then the Dak stuff comes out, but the first 15 minutes were about the CBA. And why is that so significant? Because until that CBA is set and we know what the finances are and the franchise tag, I'm not sure it's going to get done either. So Dak Prescott, we've been talking about it for not just 2 weeks. We've been talking about this for nearly 12 months. I don't think at the end of this thing or at the finish line, suddenly Dak Prescott's going to take some hometown discount and say, you know what, I just want to be family too. I think they're going to have to pay Dak Prescott, and if not, he'll be franchise tagged based on the timing of when all that can go down.
Appreciate you, Peter. We'll get back to you in a bit. Jerry Jones also addressing the prospect of signing Bryant, saying, quote, I'm not dismissing it. I don't want to sound like it should be dismissed by saying it. I am thinking about it. Well, now there's drama.
Yes. And he literally said, I've been thinking about it in the shower, which was the quote of the day. And people started to say, TMI. I totally disagree. That TMI would have been, I'm thinking about it on the can. I think you do some of your best thinking in the shower that lets you know that is really important to him. Yeah. I do all my thinking every morning for the show on the shower. Come up with the ideas, what I'm going to say. Important, private time in the shower. I rank shower rankings or thinking rankings as driving thinking, when you're focused.
Okay.
Number 2, I got shower thinking, warm, comfortable, and by yourself. And the number 1, workout thinking. I love it. You got the endorphins going, your brain is going, you're on the bike, come up with all the ideas. I also think that I just can't stop picturing how nice Jerry Jones' shower must be. I mean, it must be oils and that giant French bread thing that you wash your back with. You know what I'm saying?
It's glorious.
It must be the most incredible shower, claw-footed or something otherwise. I'd love to do some thinking there. No, it's amazing.
I'm right there with you, man. I do some thinking in the shower. And I have some crazy thoughts. Like, I remember sitting there thinking, like, when you say the word forward and back, your lips actually move in that direction.
Is that true?
Try it, yeah. And I've also thought, like, you know, I've woken up over 10,000 times and I've never gotten used to it. It's a crazy thought. I also thought, like, when we invaded the moon, were we the aliens? Like, it kind of makes
Or did we even go on the moon?
Or did
I think about that all the time.
So, but I have these wild thoughts. For Jerry Jones to have a wild thought of bringing back Dez Bryant, who leads the organization in touchdowns, is one of the most respected Cowboys to ever play the game. And on top of that, he looks pretty damn good running routes over the last few weeks. I feel like they should do it. That way you don't have to worry about the whole conversation of, do we long-term Amari? You can franchise him, keep Gallup there, have Dez come in. He doesn't need to be the number 1. He'll make some plays. But get into a shower, though, I guarantee it is the most immaculate shower of all time. Probably has, like, you know, you have that guy in the bathroom that gives you the mints and the towels and all that.
You think he has one in his home?
Yeah, I think he has one in the shower.
Isn't that how they got Mike McCarthy? He did the sleepover?
Yeah.
I just think a billionaire is a master of allotment of time. Like, you're a very busy person throughout the day. You have to use your time wisely. If he is using his shower thinking time, not thinking about Dak, not Amari, not Mike McCarthy. If he's devoting that 10 minutes in that shower to think about Dez, then we got something here. I don't think it's meaningless. I think he threw that out there. It's like, you're doing shower thinking about Dez, then we may have to throw up the X. I'm thinking it might be back.
You're right. $1 billion bubbles up in that shower.
That's what I'm saying.
Said that Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa had an overall positive physical yesterday at the Combine. Great news. He had a clean MRI showing his hip fracture has healed. Teams will still rely on Tua's doctors for updates on the injury, since it's considered a trauma injury, gentlemen, rather than a football one. Tua is still on pace to be cleared to play by March 9th. Let's welcome in a guy who's been up all night covering the Combine, who, wow, that is some 3D mug of coffee. I saw this and freaked out during the Combine coverage yesterday, Shrakes.
Yes, move over Pixar. We've got the giant coffee mug. It's virtual reality. It's not real, folks at home. Okay. But it is cool. And I'll tell you what, the news from Tua was great. And it's exciting to hear because everything he's done in these interviews has been excellent. They've been saying that this young man has walked into the room and is almost like a Pied Piper of sorts, meaning the other players are following him and coaches and scouts are loving to speak with him. But the medical is the most important thing. We're going to find out more in March when they goes for the medical recheck. And ideally, he'll be able to compete at a pro day. But for Tua to come back with this, at least good news about his health, it means everything is going in the right direction. What a young man. What a story. Now it just needs to be perfect health, or at least health that's trending that way for a team to dedicate a top 5 pick to him. If it is good and all is on the right path, it could be as high as number 1 or even number 2.
And Peter, after yesterday's Combine performances, who stuck out to you and who made your phone blow up the most?
So everyone was very happy with Ruggs' 40 going from 4.27, and it was cool to see that. And then Justin Jefferson, who I mentioned earlier, made a big leap because he ran a 4.40, and that surprised people. But there was a true number 1 receiver out there, and he's been this way all week in the meetings too. CeeDee Lamb is a grown man out there playing football. This guy last evening put on an absolute show with his route running, his physical build. And then they did that red zone fade drill that Nate and I were trying to demonstrate earlier in the week. This guy put on a performance in that drill. This is the pass. Watch this catch. That is insane. Every single time they threw him that deep pass, he found a way to use it. That is hands. That is DeAndre Hopkins. The guy that you're seeing there clapping and giggling is Buffalo Bills wide receivers coach Chad Hall. He's there watching it. You can't even hide your enjoyment for the kid because you're excited by it. Look at this catch and look at what he can do. NFL teams see that there's Chad in the gray sweatshirt, just like, yes! this is what he's going to do at the next level. This is one of these players that they come into the NFL and it's not a learning curve. It's not, okay, let's see if we can get him a good number 2. He is a number 1. You can put him right in there. And look at the quarterbacks that he's played with in his college career. Started with Baker Mayfield, where he scored a bunch of touchdowns with him. Then he moved on to Kyler Murray, where he scored a bunch of touchdowns with him. And then it was Jalen Hurts and scored a bunch of touchdowns with him. CeeDee Lamb is a beast. CeeDee Lamb showed it last night. And that catch right there, just one moment in the evening, might have been the biggest moment of all. He is my winner.